Let's talk about vertebrae, and what we're going to do is we're going to start by considering a typical vertebra, in this case a lumbar vertebra. The most obvious feature is this large body located anteriorly. Behind the body you have two pedicles. Here's one pedicle right here, and you have another pedicle on the other side. Then you have transverse processes, again two. Here's one of the transverse processes pointing laterally. Behind that you have the laminae. So here's one lamina right here, and here's another lamina right here. What we're going to do now is we're going to turn this toward the side. So we're going to look at the lateral aspect. This is the spinous process. It's the most posterior part of the vertebra. In most of the spine, or almost all of it, basically the spinous process is going to run inferiorly, and that's how you can tell whether or not you're holding the vertebra correctly or not. Other features we have to look at, these are the superior articular processes. Here's one superior articular process here, and here's another superior articular process right here. If you have superior articular processes, you also have inferior articular processes. Here they are. Here's one inferior articular process, and here's the other inferior articular process right here. I'm going to go ahead and grab another vertebra and put it on top of our first vertebra to show you how these articular processes articulate or form a joint. This is the inferior articular process of the vertebral body above, and this is the superior articular process here of the vertebra below. And you can see that they form a joint right here. This is a synovial joint, and there's one on the other side as well right here. A couple of other things we need to look at. This is the intervertebral foramen. The spinal nerve comes out just below the pedicle of the vertebra above, below what's called the inferior vertebral notch. This is the superior vertebral notch right here, and those two together form the intervertebral foramen. One more thing we need to look at is the so-called vertebral foramen, and that's basically this hole back here. That's where the spinal cord lives, or if you're in the lumbar spine and the lower lumbar spine, that's where the cauda equina lives. So that's what a typical vertebra looks like. Let's go ahead and very briefly consider the two atypical vertebrae. This is C1. The reason it is atypical is because it doesn't have a body. So you can see that there's no body with C1. This is C2. C2 has this big thing that sticks off the top of it. That is the so-called dens. The dens basically serves as the body for C1, and these are the only two vertebrae that I consider to be atypical. Thank you.